It was just like Mike was just demoralized to kill people. I know the competitor in you still went at it, but how was it dealing with the GOAT?
Well, your ass better get some sleep the night before. I'm gonna tell you now, that's one motherfucker right there. Now I used to go lay down and elevate my motherfucking feet above my heart. Like my mom used to say, put your feet above your heart, baby, before you play him. It gonna bring some energy back to you. Yeah, cause this motherfucker Black Jesus, man. That's why I call him, man, the best player I ever played against, man. I mean, it's no comparisons to. I mean, LeBron. Kudos, man. You hell of a nigga, man. You got your son damn drafted, nigga. That shit's weird. Mike was the best player ever, man.
Black
that
cat.
motherfucker spunked on me one day when we was in Houston. He spunked on me. I was like, oh Lord, that bitch like he's like disappeared. And shit. This bitch like, woof. This bitch just disappeared. This bitch spunked on me so. This bitch is so gifted, man. I'd never seen. He's so strong, fast, and can handle. And I don't think his handle was that good. I think his hand was so big that he used to lose that shit, and he'll grab that bitch with his hand so. He got big hands, all of us. He'll grab that motherfucker, but man, that man spinned on me, and he took off, and you know that damn jump man on the bottom of that damn stick. That motherfucker was right in my face. And then I was like, I laughed at it. I laughed because I took off and ran down the court because I knew the nigga had done. I knew it in there. I knew everybody in Houston was like, oh shit. They used to come see the dunk show before the games, and I knew I just took off running.
Leak out.
And he came back, he came up behind me, and the nigga hit me on my ass. I say, oh no, bitch ass nigga. Don't put your goddamn hands on me, nigga, after that bullshit, nigga. Don't put your motherfucking hands on me, Mike. Nigga, I'll beat your motherfucking ass, nigga. Now I love your game, bitch ass nigga. Don't put your goddamn hands on me, nigga. So, I was just saying, but
Oh man.
And then that's when y'all see it's like everybody see this part where we like face to face. I was like, man, but I don't touch me, nigga. You're the best nigga I ever played against, nigga. Don't put your goddamn hands on me though, nigga. Cause nigga, I hate guarding your ass, nigga. Oh yeah, man. That was shit, man. That was some shit right there, Mike, man. That guy was unbelievable, man.
Yo,
to
man.
be 1,000, man. I'm just glad I was able to say shit and everybody give me homage. But shit, they don't give like, motherfucker, I was just following that motherfucker down there to Olajuwon. Olajuwon was the best defensive player in the fucking league for fucking back in them days for 3-4 years in a row. Defensive player of the year, blocking everything. You know, he don't give a fuck if he get dunked on. He don't give a fuck if Mike come in there and dunk on him. Shit, I'll funnel his ass on down there, go and get that shit, and I'll be out there waiting on the break. Shit, so that's what it is, man. Mike was the best ever, man. Love you, boy.
The first thing you need to do before facing Michael Jordan is go to bed early the night before. That wasn't a joke, it was Vernon Maxwell's truth. Few players ever forced him to change his routine, but Jordan was different. On the eve of meeting Black Jesus, Maxwell would elevate his feet, lie still in the dark, and try to save every ounce of energy. Because come tomorrow, he'd be fighting a storm. Maxwell recalled with a mix of awe and bitterness, "I never faced anyone like him." Jordan was strong, fast, relentless, and above all, a psychological nightmare. Every time you stepped on the floor, it wasn't just basketball, it felt like survival. One night in Houston burned itself into his memory. Jordan spun past him, exploded into the air, and hammered down a dunk as the crowd erupted. Maxwell knew instantly he'd been immortalized as another victim in a Jordan highlight. And when he turned away, Jordan ran back and playfully slapped him on the backside just to twist the knife. Maxwell snapped, "Don't put your hands on me, Mike. You're the best, but don't touch me." Funny, but also painfully real. Even a tough, fearless defender like Maxwell admitted defeat. Because Jordan didn't just win with jumpers or dunks, he won in your head. He controlled your pride, your emotions, and your very will to compete. And when Maxwell finally summed it up, he said with a sigh, "Mike was the greatest player I ever played against. No comparison." That is the starting point of an unshakable truth. Jordan was not merely a basketball player. He was the ultimate standard, the measuring stick before whom even other legends bowed their heads. When an entire generation bowed to Michael Jordan, Vernon Maxwell admitted that before facing Michael Jordan, he followed his mother's advice. Elevate his legs before bed to save every ounce of energy. Because he knew the next day wouldn't just be a game, it would be a war. He put it simply, against Michael Jordan, you had to prepare body and mind. You couldn't step on that floor at half strength, because the moment you slipped, you were finished. And Maxwell wasn't alone. Nearly an entire generation of Hall of Famers echoed the same truth. Gary Payton, the Glove, one of the greatest defenders alive, confessed that what made Jordan terrifying wasn't just skill, but the way he broke you mentally. Jordan didn't just score on me. He took my confidence. He wanted to break your spirit before he broke your body. Charles Barkley, the 1,993 MVP, said it bluntly. I never thought anyone was better than me until I played Michael Jordan. Reggie Miller, one of the most clutch shooters of all time, was admitted, the second Jordan looked me in the eye, I knew the game was over before the tip. Patrick Ewing, Jordan's longtime friend and rival with the Knicks, didn't mince words. Michael Jordan is the reason my Knicks never won a championship. This is the Jordan effect. He didn't just beat you physically, he consumed you psychologically. His shadow blanketed the entire league. Opponents didn't just prepare to face him for 48 minutes. They had to rewire their habits, routines, and even their mental state days before and after every encounter. And here's the truth. You can't capture that in a box score. You can't chart fear in a stat line. There is no column for broken will or deflated eyes when Jordan drilled an unstoppable fadeaway in your face. Yet everyone knew it existed because every great player who stood across from him has told the same story. Jordan wasn't just a basketball player, he was a storm. When an entire generation of Hall of Famers, Barkley, Malone, Stockton, Ewing, Payton, Miller, and the toughest defenders of the era admit they couldn't conquer him, the verdict becomes undeniable. Michael Jordan didn't just play basketball, he redefined greatness itself, the era of iron walls. Jordan and a sea of Hall of Famers in front of him. In every GOAT debate, one of the most common arguments LeBron fans bring up is, LeBron had to face more super teams than Jordan. But if we actually turn back the pages of history, if we dare to look straight at the full picture of the NBA in the 80 seconds and 90 seconds, the truth flips upside down. It was Michael Jordan who had to carve his way through a corridor filled with living statues opponents, who later became immortalized in the Hall of Fame. Let's start with the Detroit Pistons. They weren't just a strong team, they were a definition, the bad boys, with Isaiah Thomas's craftiness, Joe Dumars' relentlessness, and a young, ferocious Dennis Rodman. They created an entire rule book just to stop one man, the Jordan rules. Every time he drove to the basket, 4 arms collapsed on him, ready to yank, shove, and smash him to the floor. That wasn't basketball anymore. That was warfare. And for 3 straight years, Jordan was blocked by this iron wall. But he didn't run. He built his body, strengthened his mind, and kept coming until the day the Bulls finally toppled the Pistons and opened the gates to an empire. Before getting past Detroit, Jordan had already tasted despair against the Boston Celtics, the dynasty of Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish. Remember the 1,986 playoff game when Jordan, just 23 years old, dropped 63 points at the Boston Garden, a record-setting performance. And Larry Bird, at the height of his own powers, declared, "That wasn't Michael Jordan. That was God disguised as Michael Jordan." When the opponent himself bows like that, you know the mountain Jordan had to climb was colossal. Then came the New York Knicks, a street fighter squad led by Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, and John Starks. Every Bulls-Knicks clash was a war, filled with elbows, hard fouls, and suffocating defense. Yet Jordan turned Madison Square Garden into his personal stage, ripping the hearts out of New York fans time and time again. The Indiana Pacers, with Reggie Miller, brought another nightmare. Miller was not just a deadly shooter. He was a master of psychological warfare, taunting and provoking at every chance. But Jordan's icy composure always rose above the noise, silencing Miller in the biggest moments. And then came the ultimate challenge, the Utah Jazz, led by Karl Malone and John Stockton. Malone, the mailman, was a chiseled MVP machine. Stockton, a genius conductor of the pick and roll, played with surgical precision. Together, they formed one of the deadliest duos in history. Yet Jordan defeated them not once, but twice on the game's biggest stage. Who can forget the flu game of 1997 when he dropped 38 points despite being visibly sick? Or the 1998 finals when Jordan shook off Brian Russell and nailed the jumper that sealed both the game and his 6th championship. Don't overlook the Seattle Supersonics either. Gary Payton, the Glove, was hailed as the league's best perimeter defender. Even he admitted, "I did everything, but he was just too good." Jordan still walked away with another Finals MVP. Now, let's be crystal clear. Look at the Hall of Fame roll call. Jordan had to face Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Reggie Miller, Gary Payton. This wasn't just a gauntlet of greats. It was the golden generation of the NBA. Meanwhile, the super teams LeBron battled the Spurs. The Warriors, yes, they were elite, historic squads. But they came in waves, in distinct eras. For Jordan, every single year meant crossing a minefield of all-time greats. The key difference? Jordan never left Chicago to form alliances with other superstars. He never searched for the easier road. He stayed. He endured. He faced the entire basketball world head-on, and still conquered it all, 6 for 6 on the game's biggest stage. That is why, when we talk about the difficulty of the path, the narrative that LeBron faced tougher competition collapses. Jordan climbed the mountain during the harshest era, against the strongest competition, and still reached the immortal summit. The difference lies in spirit. Jordan didn't just win, he destroyed. There is one crucial factor that sets Michael Jordan completely apart from LeBron James: his competitive spirit. People call LeBron King James, but Jordan was Black Jesus. That nickname wasn't given lightly. Vernon Maxwell, a man who guarded him, once said, "Before facing Jordan, I had to go to bed early, elevate my legs like my mama told me, just to have enough energy to survive." That wasn't just physical preparation, it was mental preparation, like entering a battle of life and death. LeBron is great because of his ability to elevate teammates, to turn role players into temporary heroes, to lift an entire roster to contention. He is the model of longevity and basketball IQ, sustaining excellence for 2 decades. But Jordan was something else entirely. He didn't just want to win, he wanted to crush you. He wanted you to look him in the eyes and admit the truth. No one can take this crown from him. In the biggest games, LeBron might make the right pass, the safe play. Jordan was different. He chose to carry, to take the defining shot, to own the moment when the world's eyes were fixed on one man. And the key is this: he made it a habit. For Jordan, game winners weren't exceptions. They were his identity. Look back at his 6 finals appearances. Jordan didn't just go undefeated. He dominated. 6 championships. 6 finals MVPs. That says it all. He wasn't just present, he was the reason, the conductor, the nightmare everyone feared. For Jordan, every big game was a stage for destruction, a battlefield where victory alone wasn't enough. Total submission was the goal. This is why so many, even legends who stood across from him, insist Jordan exists on a level that cannot be matched. LeBron may be admired for his humanity, his ability to connect. But Jordan was feared, and in sports, fear itself is the purest evidence of absolute dominance. Respect versus fear. LeBron is admired, Jordan is feared. LeBron James is the embodiment of endurance, strength, and basketball intelligence. For more than 20 years, he has never allowed himself to dip below greatness. Fans look at LeBron and see admiration. A man fully dedicated, a model of discipline and longevity. That is respect. But Michael Jordan inspired something entirely different: fear. When Jordan stepped onto the court, not only fans but also opponents felt a chill run through them. They knew one thing for certain: we are standing in front of someone who can destroy everything. Jordan didn't need 20 years to prove himself in just 13 seasons with the Bulls. He turned the NBA into his personal empire. This difference might seem subtle, but it defines legacies. To respect someone means you acknowledge their greatness. To fear someone means you accept they exist on a level far above you. And that is the gap between LeBron and Jordan. LeBron can drag teammates to a finals. Jordan turned teammates into invincible warriors. LeBron can score 40 inches a loss. Jordan turned his 40 into a weapon that decided entire series. LeBron is admired for his longevity, but Jordan was feared because he possessed a killer instinct, a predator's mentality. This isn't just emotion. It has been confirmed by legends who faced him. They knew he would find a way to crush you, and he always did. That is why, no matter how many records LeBron may break, he will always lack the one thing numbers can't measure: the cold look in his opponent's eyes, knowing they had already lost before the game even started. Immortal moments. When Jordan froze time. Greatness is not just measured by numbers, it is etched into memory through moments. Michael Jordan's legacy is filled with snapshots that feel almost mythical, moments where the entire world stopped and bore witness to his dominance. These are not just highlights, they are chapters of basketball scripture. Think of the shot in 1989 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Craig Elo draped all over him, the clock winding down, and Jordan rises, hangs in the air a fraction longer than physics should allow, and buries the jumper. That single play was more than a win, it was a declaration. A new ruler had arrived. Think of the 1997 flu game against the Utah Jazz. Jordan, visibly pale, drenched in sweat, barely able to stand upright. Yet he scored 38 points, carrying his team to victory. That game became an eternal symbol. Greatness isn't just about talent, it's about willpower that refuses to break. When the body said no, Jordan's spirit answered yes. And of course, the last shot in 1998, perhaps the most iconic play in NBA history. With less than 10 seconds left, Jordan steals the ball from Karl Malone, dribbles calmly up the floor, shakes off Brian Russell with a single cross-step, and rises for the jumper. Swish. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, and a pose frozen forever. Jordan, arm extended, holding the follow-through as the world held its breath. These moments are untouchable because they were not accidents, they were destiny. Jordan owned the biggest stages, and when the pressure was unbearable, he was at his most unstoppable. LeBron has had his iconic moments too, but none have defined an era the way Jordan's did. Numbers can fade, records can eventually be broken. But these moments, the shot, the flu game, the last shot, are eternal. They have been burned into the DNA of the sport. They are the very reason why, when we say clutch, we don't think of statistics, we think of Michael Jordan. Conclusion. Jordan, the eternal standard. In the end, the GOAT debate is not just about who scored more, who lasted longer, or who collected more trophies. It is about who defined the very meaning of basketball greatness. And on that front, Michael Jordan stands alone. LeBron James is extraordinary. He has set records that may never be touched, carried teams to impossible heights, and inspired a generation with his resilience and longevity. His greatness is undeniable. But Jordan's greatness is different. It is absolute. He didn't just dominate, he transformed the game. He didn't just inspire respect, he instilled fear. He didn't just win, he created moments that still echo decades later. Jordan faced an NBA filled with Hall of Famers, endured the brutality of the Bad Boys Pistons, stared down Bird's Celtics, battled Malone and Stockton's Jazz, and came out undefeated on the game's biggest stage. 6 finals, 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs. The math is simple, but the message is eternal. When the stakes were highest, Jordan never faltered. This is why Michael Jordan isn't just the GOAT, he is the standard. Every player since has been measured against him. Kobe chased him. LeBron is compared to him, but no one has dethroned him, because Jordan exists in a realm of his own. And maybe that's the real truth of this debate. Greatness is not only about what you achieve, but how you make the world feel while you achieve it. Respect fades. Records are broken. Longevity has its limits. But fear, awe, and the memory of a man who turned basketball into mythology that never dies. Michael Jordan was, is, and will always be the definition of true greatness. The eternal summit. The standard by which all others are measured, but never surpassed.